The WOW signal, a message from space. Since the dawn of time, humanity has gazed at the night sky, wondering if we are alone in this vast universe. We've sent signals, messages into space, hoping for a response from other civilizations. And then, on a fateful night, we received a message. A brief signal, lasting only 72 seconds, but it changed everything. For nearly 50 years, this mystery remained unsolved. But in 2025, a new signal appeared. And this time, it wasn't just a meaningless sequence, it was a message. Act 1, The Origin of the Mystery. The screen fades in, revealing the Big Ear Observatory in Ohio, 1977. Scientists are working around massive computers, their lights flickering in the control room. The sound of keyboard typing fills the air. Dr. Jerry Eman, an astronomer, stares at his computer screen. Suddenly, a strange sequence of numbers and letters appears. His eyes widen, his heartbeat quickens. He immediately grabs a red pen, circles the signal 6EQUJ5, and scribbles beside it, "Wow." Jerry whispers, "No way. What is this?" Alarms sound, and scientists rush to the screen. They excitedly debate the mysterious signal originating from the Sagittarius constellation. But after just 72 seconds, the signal disappears completely. An eerie silence follows. The scene transitions to the present day, 2025. A group of scientists at the SETI Institute is reviewing old data. Dr. Amelia Carter, an expert in cosmic signals, flips through old records of the WOW signal. She stares at Dr. Jerry Eman's notes and mutters to herself, "Amelia, it's been nearly 50 years, and no one has explained it? Could it really be natural?" Suddenly, her computer pings. A strange signal has just been received from a radio telescope in Chile. The signal's wavelength is nearly identical to WOW. "Assistant, Dr. Carter, there's something extremely unusual." Amelia and her team analyze it feverishly. They discover that the signal contains a repeating pattern, something that cannot occur naturally. It is a message. They run decryption algorithms. An image begins to form on the screen, a series of strange symbols, resembling an ancient writing system. They compare it to Earth's languages but find no match. However, when analyzed mathematically, a familiar sequence emerges: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. "Assistant, these are the squares of natural numbers. Some intelligence is sending us a mathematical pattern." After further analysis, they uncover a star map. It points to a location in the closest galaxy to Earth, Proxima Centauri b. A crisis meeting is held at SETI. Scientists intensely debate the origin of the signal and the possibility that this is the first real evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. "Amelia, if this is an invitation, should we respond?" NASA and international organizations decide to send a reply via radio waves, using basic mathematical and physics principles. In the control room, everyone holds their breath as the signal is transmitted. "Engineer, signal sent successfully. Now, we wait." A tense silence follows. Weeks later, Chile's telescope detects a response. No one can believe their eyes. A new sequence of data arrives far more complex than the original wow signal. Amelia, we've received an answer. The screen displays a structured system of symbols, resembling an advanced language. News of the extraterrestrial signal spreads worldwide. The United Nations holds an emergency meeting with scientists, world leaders, and military officials. UN President, if this is an advanced civilization, how should we respond? Military General, we must be cautious. What if they are not friendly? Amelia, their signal isn't threatening. They're communicating through science. After intense debate, the world decides to proceed with further research while preparing for any scenario. Amelia's team continues analyzing the signal. A shocking discovery is made. The data contains a three-dimensional model of an unidentified structure. It resembles either a space station or a massive spacecraft. Assistant, could this be coordinates, or a blueprint? Amelia, we're looking at their technology. The map within the signal matches a region near Proxima Centauri b. Could this be where they reside? Act 2, First Contact. An emergency meeting is held at NASA, attended by scientists, politicians, and military leaders. A heated debate unfolds. Politician, we don't know who they are. This could be a trap. Amelia, if they wanted to invade, they would have done so long ago. This is an opportunity for contact. Another scientist, we need to send a messenger, a robotic probe. After much debate, they decide to launch an unmanned spacecraft carrying biological samples, a map of Earth, and a message of peace. Amelia, if they want to reach out, we need to take a step forward. The launch day arrives. Engineers and scientists gather in the control center, monitoring every parameter. As the engines ignite, the world watches through screens. The spacecraft lifts off, soaring into the infinite cosmos, carrying humanity's hopes and fears. The unmanned spacecraft, named Voyager X, accelerates beyond the solar system. Its ion thrusters glow blue against the cold void of space. Inside the control center, Amelia and her research team track real-time data. The signal from Voyager X remains stable, transmitting images of deep space. Suddenly, an unusual fluctuation appears on the screen, an unidentified energy source. Assistant, we've just received a response signal, but it's not from Earth. Amelia, tense, could it be, they're guiding us? Voyager X continues its journey, passing through the Kuiper belt. But then, something unexpected happens. A spatial distortion appears ahead, a phenomenon never before documented in physics. The probe automatically adjusts its trajectory following the guiding signal. In the control center, everyone holds their breath as it enters an anomalous space region. Engineer, we lost the signal. Amelia, panicked, Voyager X has disappeared from our tracking system. The control center's main screen goes dark. No signal. A heavy silence blankets the NASA operations room. Amelia and her team scramble to restore contact, but their efforts are in vain. Engineer, we've lost the spacecraft. Amelia, no, it's still there. Maybe we're looking in the wrong direction. Suddenly, a burst of data floods the screen, not from Voyager X, but from a source much farther away. Assistant, stunned, this isn't our signal. It's coming from beyond the gateway. The transmission contains a repeating sequence of strange symbols almost like instructions. Scientists work around the clock to decipher the message. It's not a language, nor purely mathematics. Finally, Amelia realizes the signal contains a three-dimensional image, a blueprint of spatial structures. Amelia, this is their map. They're showing us the way. As the simulation renders, a mysterious star system appears on the screen, a place absent from any human astronomical database. Assistant, this location isn't in the Milky Way. The United Nations convenes an emergency summit. World leaders face the ultimate question: should humanity send a manned mission to follow Voyager X? U.S. President, we are facing something unprecedented in human history. Military General, we don't know if they are friendly or not. Amelia, we've come this far. If they want to communicate, we can't turn away. After intense deliberation, the world makes a decision: humanity will launch a crewed mission, the first step into the great unknown. At the International Space Center, an elite team of astronauts is selected for an unprecedented mission. Among them are Colonel Richard Grant, a veteran NASA pilot, Dr. Ling Wei, a leading astrophysicist, and engineer Mateo Alvarez, an expert in advanced space technology. Despite being the pioneer in deciphering the signal, Amelia is not qualified to join the mission. She stands in the observation room, watching as the astronauts prepare for their grueling training. Amelia, to Richard, you could be the first person in history to set foot on another world. Richard, or the last, if things don't go as planned. Silence fills the room. Everyone understands that this is a one-way journey. Launch day. The day of the launch finally arrives. The Exodus 1 spacecraft, equipped with the most advanced technology humanity has ever built, is ready to lift off from a classified orbital launch platform. Countdown: 10, 9, 8. Inside the control center, Amelia and the scientists closely monitor the mission. Inside the spacecraft, Richard, Ling, and Mateo run final system checks. Richard, Exodus 1 is ready. Let's make history. The engines ignite, and the spacecraft propels into space, heading toward the mysterious coordinates encoded in the signal. The unknown awaits. After weeks in deep space, the crew approaches the designated coordinates. Everyone holds their breath as they scan the surrounding region. Ling, we don't see anything here. Mateo, wait, there's something appearing on the radar. A massive structure slowly emerges, not a planet, not an asteroid, but an artificial construct floating in the void. Exodus 1 moves closer. The structure is larger than the moon, its metallic surface reflecting the dim light of a distant star. Mateo, stunned, this could be a space station, or an enormous ship. Richard, we're approaching something built by an intelligence. The spacecraft begins transmitting a greeting signal, but there is no response. However, as they draw nearer, a gateway on the structure slowly opens as if inviting them in. Richard and Ling suit up, exiting the spacecraft and moving into the vast corridor of the structure. Dim lights flicker to life, revealing strange symbols etched into the walls, the same ones found in the signal received on Earth. Ling, in awe, they knew we would come. Mateo remains on the ship, monitoring their biometrics. Suddenly, his scanner detects an immense energy source deep within the structure. Matteo, guys, you're not alone. I'm detecting something, moving. Inside the colossal construct, the flickering lights pulse with every step Richard and Ling take. The vast, empty halls feel eerily silent, yet there is an overwhelming sense of being watched. Suddenly, a strange sound reverberates, not a voice, but a frequency oscillation, like a message being transmitted. Ling, listening through the signal translator, something is trying to communicate with us. From the shadows, an unfamiliar form emerges. It resembles nothing from Earth, a formless entity, shifting like liquid light, its body continuously morphing in structure. Richard, stepping back, hand on his weapon. What the hell is that? But Ling, instead of reacting with fear, raises her hand, signaling that they come in peace. Ling, we are not enemies. We came because of your signal. The entity stops. The lights on its body flicker faster, as if it's processing their presence. After a tense silence, an image appears on the wall behind them, a projection of Earth. Richard, shocked, they know about us. The entity gradually changes form, shifting from a mass of liquid light into a faint humanoid shape, mirroring the figures of Richard and Ling. It does not speak with sound but transmits thoughts directly into their minds. Visions flood Richard and Ling's consciousness. A highly advanced civilization that has existed for millions of years. They are not from a planet, they are beings who live aboard massive megastructures drifting between the stars. They have been observing Earth from a distance but have never made direct contact until now. Ling, softly, they want to know who we are, and what we seek. Richard, regaining his composure, decides to send a visual signal depicting the history of humanity from its primitive beginnings to modern civilization. The entity watches in silence. Then, another image appears, a terrifying sight, a world being destroyed. Ling and Richard stare in shock. It's not Earth, it's an unknown planet, engulfed in massive energy storms. Ling, what is this? A warning. Richard, or their past. The entity continues transmitting its message. Their civilization once ruled a powerful empire, but a cosmic catastrophe occurred. Something, perhaps another force, wiped out their world. The remnants of their race fled, wandering the stars. Then, a chilling realization dawns on Ling. Ling, whispering, if they sent a signal, it means something is haunting them. A dreadful silence fills the space. The entity suddenly emits a frantic signal. The images flicker faster. A colossal object, resembling a war machine, devouring entire planets. A formless force, spreading across the universe like an unstoppable plague. A simple, terrifying message: they are coming. Richard, face pale, we might have been followed. Suddenly, an alarm blares from their ship, Exodus 1. Matteo's voice shouts through the comms. Matteo, something's coming fast. The ship's monitors flash red. A massive object is moving at an impossible speed toward Proxima Centauri b. Matteo, over radio, we've got a big problem. I'm seeing something, I don't even know what the hell it is. Ling and Richard sprint toward the ship. The alien entity reacts as well. The lights on its body flicker violently, as if it's terrified. Above them, A titanic silhouette looms into view. It doesn't reflect light like a normal object. Instead, it absorbs everything around it, creating an abyss in space itself. Ling, frozen in shock. That's not a spaceship. It's something else. Mateo frantically tries to power up Exodus 1's engines, but the systems go haywire. A strange energy field engulfs the entire area, disrupting all technology. Richard, we need to get out of here now. Before they can react, a dark beam of energy shoots from the massive entity, spreading like a thick mist over the entire region. Then everything goes black. A strange hum vibrates through the void. Richard opens his eyes, but he sees nothing, only endless emptiness. He realizes he's no longer standing on Proxima Centauri b, he's floating in some kind of alternate space. Richard, muttering, "Where am I?" Shadowy figures emerge around him, not human, but distorted, twisted entities, as if they've been warped by time and space itself. A voice echoes inside his mind, not Ling's, not Mateo's, but something ancient and alien. Mysterious voice, you have stepped where you do not belong. The environment shifts. Flashes of imagery surge into Richard's thoughts. A planet consumed by darkness. A living machine, spreading across the cosmos, devouring all life. A brief glimpse of Earth's fate if humanity does not act in time. Richard screams, then the darkness shatters. He wakes up, gasping, back on the floor of Exodus 1. Ling and Mateo are also regaining consciousness. Mateo, breathing heavily, what the hell just happened? Ling, we were pulled into some kind of alternate space. Something was examining us. They glance out the ship's window. The alien entity is still there, but now it has shrunk, as if protecting itself. It emits a faint signal, a final message. Ling, translating the signal, they have arrived. You must leave now. Wasting no time, they fire up the engines. The ship shudders violently as it breaks free from the energy field. But when they look back, the surface of Proxima Centauri b is gone. Swallowed whole by the colossal darkness. Exodus 1 speeds away at maximum thrust. But they are not alone. From the void, strange objects emerge, mechanical insect-like fragments, moving at impossible speeds. Mateo, damn it! We're being followed. Richard checks the systems. These things aren't just chasing them, they're trying to infiltrate the ship. Ling, they're not just organisms, they're intelligent parasites. They can control technology. Mateo swerves the ship, dodging left and right, but one of the creatures latches onto the wing. Mateo, we can't bring this thing back to Earth. If it gets into our systems, the entire planet is at risk. They have only one option: self-destruct. Richard, we won't let humanity be the next victims. Ling enters the self-destruct sequence. A robotic voice echoes through the cabin. Self-destruct will activate in 60 seconds. But if the ship explodes, they won't escape in time. Mateo, we can use the escape pod. But we won't make it out of the gravity field in time. Richard looks at Ling. She nods. They have no choice. The three of them sprint toward the escape pod. The ship shakes violently as the countdown begins. Richard, hold on tight. The hatch slams shut. Exodus 1 keeps accelerating, carrying the parasitic creatures with it. 3, 2, 1. Boom. A massive explosion tears through space. The shock wave hurls the escape pod, sending it spinning out of control. After days adrift in space, they finally receive a signal from Earth. A NASA rescue ship arrives and brings them home. But the story isn't over. Ling, Richard, and Matteo stand before the United Nations Science Council. They explain everything that happened. But there's a problem. Government official, there is no evidence of what you're claiming. Exodus 1 is gone. There are no recordings of the alien entity. No data on the parasitic creatures. Matteo, bitterly, you don't understand. They're coming. And they won't stop. Somewhere in deep space, something stirs. A dark fracture appears among the stars. And from within the void begins to spread. The first signals led humanity to a new threshold. We now know we are not alone. But the real question isn't do they exist? It's who are they? And what do they want from us? The screen flickers. A strange signal pulses. A symbol unrecognizable. Then darkness. Final words appear on screen. This story is only beginning. An eerie radio signal crackles in the distance, then silence.